We begin with a Fox 10 News alert. We are following major developments in the teen violence investigations in the East Valley. Arrests have been made in two high-profile cases and an update on the investigation into the death of Preston Lord, the 16-year-old who was beaten at a Halloween party last year.
Yeah, first we start with an assault in Gilbert at an In-N-Out parking lot. It happened last August. And police have now made 4 arrests, 3 of those announced within just the past hour. Fox 10's Lindsay Regis has been following this story from the beginning and joins us live now with the new details. Lindsay.
Yeah, these arrests come months after the assault. The 16-year-old victim had to be sent overseas for his safety. His dad says these arrests should have come way sooner.
You know, my emotion was here, but it also dropped here because I was very pissed, to be honest with you, that, this didn't happen 4 months ago.
Richard Keener says his 16-year-old son was beaten in August by a group of people, and it was caught on video.
He had a lot of bruising, a lot of contusions. He was obviously kicked in a lot of different areas, and his shins, his wrists. He had several bruises on his head from when he got tackled and hit the ground, and his head hit the asphalt. He's got scars on his mouth from where he got hit.
Gilbert police closed the case, then recently reopened it after the death of 16-year-old Preston Lord in Queen Creek. Since then, parents have voiced concerns about teen violence in the East Valley and what they've nicknamed the Gilbert Goons. So far, 4 people have been arrested in the In-N-Out assault and robbery. 18-year-old Aris Arredondo and 2 16-year-olds were arrested today. 18-year-old Christopher Fantastic was arrested last night.
The state's requesting a $100,000 secured appearance bond in this matter, and we'd also ask for electronic monitoring if Mr. Fantastic is able to post that bond.
Prosecutors asked for a high bond because Gilbert police paperwork links Fantastic to a group known to hurt others.
The state also wants to reiterate the fact that this attack is only one among several in the community in Gilbert that have been perpetrated by a group that the defendant belongs to, with several other violent juveniles and adults. The state's concerned about the constant victimization of the community and potential future attacks if he is not given a high bond.
The judge interrupts, asking what information links Fantastic to the group that local parents are calling the Gilbert Goons.
I know there's been some recent publicity about, roving attacks in Gilbert. You just linked him to it, but I'm saying, do you have anything to support that? Other than just what the police may have told you?
That's the information that I have from the Gilbert Police Department.
Okay, and I guess I have to say, I can't, without knowing why the police believe that he is a part of that sort of gang of kids, not an organized gang, but group, I guess I can't give that really any weight.
Keener says this is just the beginning of getting justice for his son, who is physically healed but may suffer permanent emotional and psychological damage.
Regardless of the affiliation or not, there's still guilty parties out there that need to be charged.
Bail is set at $25,000 for Fantastic. Now, if he is released, he will have to wear an ankle monitor, and he can't have contact with the victim or the victim's family. Reporting live, Lindsay Regis, Fox 10 News.
Thanks for joining us tonight. We begin at 9 with team coverage on teen violence in the East Valley. It's been a busy day of new developments and multiple arrests.
And we're going to start with a case from last August. It was a brutal beating that happened in the parking lot of an In-N-Out burger in Gilbert. 4 people have been arrested in this case, and that includes this man, 18-year-old Christopher Fantastic, and 3 other suspects have been charged. Fox 10's Lindsay Regis has been on this story from the beginning and joins us live now with the details. Lindsay.
Mark and Christina, arrests were made today and yesterday. Now, one 18-year-old and 2 16-year-olds were arrested today. One 18-year-old was arrested yesterday. The victim's father says these arrests should have happened way sooner.
I guess my question is to the police chief, why did they close my case in the first place? I mean, it should have never been closed, and if they would have done their due diligence when they had that information, this should have happened 4 months ago.
Richard Keener protected his 16-year-old son the only way he knew how. He sent his son overseas to live with his mother after he says his son was brutally beaten by a group of people.
My only son, yep. I raised him my whole life, so it's very tough not to have him here.
His son suffered internal kidney damage. His head hit the asphalt and he was bleeding from the mouth.
He had a lot of bruising, a lot of contusions.
Gilbert police closed the case, then recently reopened it after the death of 16-year-old Preston Lord in Queen Creek. Since then, parents have voiced concerns about teen violence in the East Valley and the group they've nicknamed the Gilbert Goons. So far, 4 people have been arrested in the in-and-out assault and robbery: 2 16-year-olds, 18-year-old Aris Arredondo, and 18-year-old Christopher Fantastic.
Not only was this a vicious attack that caused injuries to a minor, but it was a planned and concerted plot against the minor victim to get back at him for reporting threats to his school.
Prosecutors asked for a high bond of $100,000 for Fantastic because of his suspected involvement in other crimes.
The state also wants to reiterate the fact that this attack is only one among several in the community in Gilbert that have been perpetrated by a group that the defendant belongs to.
The judge interrupts, asking what information links Fantastic to that group.
I know there's been some recent publicity about, roving attacks in Gilbert. You just linked him to it, but I'm saying, do you have anything to support that, other than just what the police may have told you?
That's the information that I have from the Gilbert Police Department.
Okay, and I guess I have to say, I can't, without knowing why the police believe that he is a part of that sort of gang of kids, not an organized gang, but group, I guess I can't give that really any weight.
More arrests are possible. Keener says it's still not safe to bring his son back.
There's still guilty parties out there that need to be charged.
Bail is set at $25,000 for Fantastic. Now, if he is released, he will have to wear an ankle monitor, and he cannot have contact with the victim or the victim's family. Reporting live, Lindsay Regis, Fox 10 News.
Gilbert police releasing new photos of people who they say are involved in recent teen assaults.
And the department reports that it's investigating a total of 9 teen violence cases and is asking for people to help them in 2 cases that are reopened and 3 newly reported ones. Fox 10's Lauren Clark joining us in studio now with what they have.
Well, Mark and Christina, as you mentioned, there's several cases here. They want people to take a look at some of these photos. This is a reopened case. There's 7 photos that they have on their website here showing several people they believe are involved. Police say this is a reopened aggravated assault case happening at a home near Higley and Elliott on December of 2022. One person was previously arrested, but officers say they need help in identifying the others that are here and involved. And this is just one of 5 cases that officers say they need your help trying to solve.
On Thursday, Gilbert police released several photos in 3 new teen assault cases reported to officers. First, there are these pictures. Police say they were taken during an aggravated assault on an unknown date in the parking lot near Williamsfield Road and Market Street. Second, there's this incident. Officers say this one happened on a sidewalk near Guadalupe Road and Freestone Parkway. Investigators don't have a date on when it happened, but need help piecing together who was involved. And finally, detectives also want you to look at these snapshots too. They say this one happened in a parking garage in downtown Gilbert on an unknown date. These new photos, released during a time when the police department is looking into whether the so-called Gilbert Goons, a group some in the community are blaming for attacks on teens in the East Valley, could be classified as a criminal street gang. Police did not mention that name, however, when describing these specific crimes. Officers are also requesting help to identify more people involved in a reopened August assault and robbery at an in-and-out parking lot near Williamsfield Road and Market Street. So far, police have arrested 4 people in that crime: 2 16-year-olds and 18-year-olds Christopher Fantastic and Aris Arredondo. The latter facing a judge for the first time today as prosecutors asked for a $100,000 bond.
The state is concerned that Mr. Arredondo is one of several individuals in the community of Gilbert that has been perpetrating attacks similar to this one.
Instead, his bail was set to the same as Fantastic's given a day prior, $25,000.
Police do allege, they just make the bare allegation at the end of your booking paperwork that you are associated with a group that has been involved in several similar targeted assaults committed against unsuspecting and isolated victims in and around the town of Gilbert. They did not choose to provide any of the information that they may have to support the allegation that you are in that group. That does not mean they don't have any. It just means that they did not wish at this time to tell the court what it is.
And Gilbert Police says anyone who can tell them anything should submit a tip. This is a link to their tip website. And as you can see right here, you can also be left anonymous if you so wish. We have a link to this on our website, fox10phoenix.com. Reporting live here in the studio, Lauren Clark, Fox 10 News.
We begin with a developing story out of Gilbert. Police have arrested 2 18-year-old men and 2 16-year-old boys for a violent group attack on a teen back in August.
And these are the first arrests connected to what prosecutors believe is a violent group of teens terrorizing the East Valley. Fox 10's Ellen McNamara is here now with the latest. Ellen.
Yeah, guys, these are all just breaking developments here happening in the last hour or so. We know so far that 18-year-old Christopher Fantastic and 18-year-old Aris Arredondo, they're now behind bars. 2 16-year-old boys are also under arrest. They're being charged as juveniles. These are the first arrests, though, related to a string of teen violence cases that has shaken the East Valley community. This is video of Fantastic appearing before a judge to face those felony assault and misdemeanor robbery charges. And we had this video because he was the first arrest. So he was the one to go before a judge first. We'll get the other one of Aris Arredondo later, and we'll bring that to you. But Fantastic's arrest is tied to this violent attack of a teen back in August in the parking lot of an In-N-Out in Gilbert. We even spoke with the victim's father, who says his son doesn't even live in America anymore because of what he went through and the fear that he has about being killed. Gilbert police have not said if Fantastic, the Arredondo arrest, or the 16-year-old teens also involved are tied to any other cases of teen violence. This is video of the case that we're talking about. Documents about Fantastic's arrest were sealed today before he went before the judge. So we don't know all of the details at this point. And County Attorney Rachel Mitchell commented on why that is.
There's some sensitive information in that pertaining to an ongoing investigation, and so we thought it best to seal the Form 4.
Fantastic is being held on a $25,000 bond. The county attorney's office had asked for it to be higher. The county attorney's office, as well as police, though, they want to make it clear that that investigation is independent and separate from Queen Creek's investigation into the homicide of Preston Lord. And we don't really have an update on that case at this point, other than Queen Creek police have submitted charges against 7 people. That happened about 2 weeks ago now, both adults and juveniles, to the Maricopa County Attorney's Office. And Mitchell addressed the case today because many in the community want to know why those 7 people are free.
There's a difference between a police investigation and a prosecution. So the police investigation concerns whether there is probable cause to make an arrest, but my attorneys have to ensure that there is a reasonable likelihood of conviction, and that means they have to pour through the same materials that are developed by the detectives.
Mitchell was asked if there is actual video of Lord being attacked and ultimately killed, and she would not say, but there are hundreds of videos that right now are part of evidence. County Attorney Mitchell says that she has met with the parents of Preston Lord to go over everything and explain the process. She would not speculate, though, on any kind of timeline when arrests could potentially be made. Reporting in studio, Ellen McNamara, Fox 10 News.
Ellen, thank you.
And with several cases of violence being investigated in the East Valley, parents have voiced concerns about this group, the so-called Gilbert Goons.
Yeah, while law enforcement has yet to publicly name anyone as a member of that group, Gilbert Police, that is considering whether this group can be classified as a criminal street gang. Fox 10's Lauren Clark joins us live to share more about the investigation. Lauren.
Well, Mark and Christina, Gilbert Police and their street crimes unit is investigating alongside other agencies, including a DPS gang enforcement task unit on these cases. The department on its website vowing to thoroughly investigate anyone identifying with the group. And that's something that, according to one retired FBI agent, says takes a lot of police work and time.
I don't know where the name Gilbert Goons came from. It doesn't seem to capture the seriousness of this. These are criminal acts.
Maricopa County Attorney Rachel Mitchell not mincing words when discussing the so-called Gilbert Goons, a group some are blaming for a slew of assaults and attacks on teens in the East Valley. Gilbert police confirm they're aware of them and are investigating if it could be a criminal street gang.
If they are doing this through an organized street gang type situation, we will look at the enhancement of gang charges or whether it was in furtherance of a street gang. We're not at that point yet to say that we've made a decision on that, but nothing's off the table.
Michael Tabman is a retired FBI special agent in charge who has experience in gang investigations.
People have to be patient. You just can't say, I think they're a gang, and bring it to court. You got to prove it.
He says it's much harder to investigate young people in a gang than those just causing crimes on their own. That's because cases need to be built, connected, and established over time. And with intimidation and fear, not all witnesses or victims want to talk either.
Take names, take notes, and start finding the way in. And as crimes go about, just look for crime trends, try to get people to report to you. Even if they don't want to testify, just telling you what happened. That so-and-so threatened me and this is what happened. And we put that together, and that's what we call, intelligence.
And Tabman really stresses a very important step in all this investigation is to have people come forward and explain what happened to them. We have the full definition of what a criminal street gang is on our website. That's fox10phoenix.com alongside other information. Reporting live here in the newsroom, Lauren Clark, Fox 10 News.